So that's it. So there it is, the extra rack for the Super 73R. The one thing I'm not super loving is the feeling that there's something blocking my leg. All right, true confession. I hate the rack on the bike because having the board on the side next to my foot makes me feel really claustrophobic. I did not enjoy that at all. I felt like if I had to put my foot down on the right side in an emergency, it wasn't going to work. So I got to thinking to myself, how can I utilize what I've already fabricated between this bar and this one? I'm going to take these two guys off. Sorry about the lighting. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two pieces of material. The big one over here is just going to be a sleeve. I'm just going to steal about 4, 5, 6 inches. I don't know, maybe 3 inches. I got to figure it out. And then this one is going to be 48 inches long, and that is going to go into that little sleeve, and it's going to go vertical on the bike. And then on the top, I'm going to take that leftover piece right here and I'm going to make it go this way. So that'll be a nice little 90-degree. And the 48 inches will give enough clearance between me when I'm standing on the bike and the top, which will be that piece right there. And then I'll have two pieces going this way, perpendicular to this one, with foam racks for the boards. All right, guys, well, in typical Rhett fashion, you don't see me drawing a lot of this. I do have a little rough sketch over there, but I'm not like detailing measurements and things. I know some of you are very detail oriented like that, and I have been that way. When I'm making cabinets or things like that where it really matters, I take my time and I draw and I calculate and I figure things out. What I've done now is I've decided to make some changes. I grabbed one of these pieces that I had in the corner, and actually, would you believe this long piece is lighter than the 1-inch one? So I think this one maybe is this 1 inch? What is this? No, that's 1 1/4. So this 1 1/4 is thinner walled than that 1-inch piece. And so that 48-inch 1-inch piece is heavier than this, what is this? 68-inch. So I'm totally changing the plans. I'm still gonna use that for my back, but I'm not gonna use the other sleeve. And then this one is gonna go over the top. I'll make all the pieces. I'll have the 2 rungs for the boards. I'll have the piece going out from that one and the 3-inch sleeve that'll go on the bottom, all from this. So here we go. First measurement is 20 inches. And that's just, I measured the width of my boards. Just, I know that they're between 20 and 21, just to confirm. And I think 20 will work because I'll have foam on it. And if it's a little bit, what am I saying? If it's a little bit under the width of the board, that's okay, because I think that the foam will make up that difference for me. Little tip trick I would always tell somebody, I always try to use my other piece, the piece I just cut, to mark for my second one, because if you can, do it. I have found over time, it can help reduce mistakes. I didn't say eliminate, reduce. And that adds up. It always does. Man, this thinner wall material cuts so much faster. Okay, now we just need a 3-inch piece. Okay, I'm gonna use this end because it's not hot. And it looks like a factory edge. Actually, I wanted to do 3.5. Can't stop me now. So. I should have checked that before I cut this, but because this may have been, it was in vain. That's loose. So shoot. So this is pretty much, hello. Alrighty guys, so here's what I'm focusing on this exact moment is I'm going to set this into the tubing so that I can really get a kick butt weld on it. So I'm just marking how far back. Basically, I'm going to cut, technically, I'm going to cut on this end, right there. Cut right here. Cut across here. And then I should have a nice little channel for that other piece of 1" to go into. So we'll see. Okay. Phase 1. By the way, the other cool thing is guess what this turns into when I'm done with it? The cap. After I cut this out, it becomes the cap that goes on the end. Not the precious welding table. There it is. Look at this. I'm just going to preview the cap. Pow. Oh, I meant to drill it before I did that. Oh well. So now look at that. Boom. It's seated in there. That's gorgeous. I'll be able to weld here, here, down there, up here, and I'm going to drill holes. Just to cut one, I don't know, maybe 2 small holes, and then I can get some penetration on each side. We'll see. I think this is the don't know what I'm doing theory. Oh, you know what? Let's get my little punch here. These things are rad. I've wanted one of these for years and years and years, and I finally bought it, and I'm stoked about it. Works really well. And dude, that is so easy to take that second right there. Alright guys, I wanted to give you a quick look at what I did here. So made that channel. Got the holes on both sides so I can weld through, fill that booger in, and we'll check back in a second. Want to make sure we get it square. Man, oh man, nothing drives me more crazy than when things are not square. Okay, still a little wiggle in there, so we'll get our square back in here. This thing needs to come down a little bit. So I'm going to put my foot on the bottom piece, or yeah, the leg there. I'm using leverage to get the square. All right, now I'm going to get that welded up. So now what we got is these guys. Oh, I need to figure out ends for these too. These are now going to get attached to this, like so. And what I'm thinking is I need to be very careful that they are perpendicular. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move over to the ground over here, and we'll set up the shop there. First things first, let's go ahead and get a center point on these two guys. 20 plus. So we'll go just over 10 is our center point. Our tube is 1 1/4. So if I do my math, so X marks the spot. I wonder how I should finish that end over there. I don't know. But I know this, we gotta get these bad boys square. Otherwise, I will be angry. I promise. Whoops. I wish I had an assistant at the current moment. Hey, helmet. Welder, come to me. Okay, well, slightly committed now. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna do this spot on this side. Looks like that was commitment. Well, certainly moving in a direction. To get you guys up to date here, latest thing that's happened is I let you guys miss it. This back piece right here, I literally had to put it on 4 times. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm really annoyed with it, so I don't want to talk about it. But we're going to move on, and we're going to put what I'm going to call the bottom plate. I'm going to put that here and move you guys over. What's going to happen is I've taken this was a piece that was just a leftover at the shop. I marked out center point, and then I figured out the 1-inch tubing all the way around. And then I'll just put it on here like so. And once we get that on there, then it'll be just doing some welds up here. And then I'm thinking I might be able to actually bolt this on to the other piece. I don't know. I'm thinking. So we'll see. But just wanted to get you guys up to date, and we'll catch up in a little bit. All right, so I had an idea, and I'm gonna pursue said idea. What it was is I'm looking at the back of this. I'm thinking that I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna cut some triangles out of it, and I'm gonna mount them onto both sides, all 4 sides of this, to the plate, so that way there's like a nice little piece in there. So now I just got to cut up a ton of stuff. So we'll catch you guys. All right, here we go. This is the beginning of the gusset, I guess I'll call it. Okay, so I'm going to do that 4 more times around, and we'll catch back up. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do, I've decided that after taking the bike out for a test ride, that I popped a couple of the welds and then welded the heck out of it, and it seemed to do well. So what I'm going to do is go back to my original drawing, and from the vertical post that is going up like this, and let's say this is the back of the bike here, I'm going to put basically well, not a piece like this. I'm going to take this tubing here and cut a piece 7 inches long to weld into this, and then I'm going to use some of the pieces from the bike thingy to bolt it onto the round tubing that I put on this way. You'll see. So we're going to cut this on like a 45-degree angle, and probably, I guess, a 45 or so degree angle down here, and we'll see if that works. All right, I just got the bar over here, and what I found out immediately is that I'm well past the edge. So I have 2 choices. One, I'm planning on making a plate anyways, so I can make the plate as big as I want, and or I can, cut this down, and I'm not sure how much. Let's see. So if I wanted it somewhere about right here, it's probably a good 1/8 of an inch, maybe even 1/4 of an inch. Oh, and then, so the plate will bring it up. Yeah, that won't matter though. Okay. I think I'm going to cut it. Okay, my friends, so here we are. I'm contemplating right now using this piece. This is just a piece of angle iron from my yard there. And you can see I've already put a Sharpie line right down there, about the thickness of the piece. I'm going to be cutting, let's see here, let me show you here if I get a good angle with the light. I'm going to try to cut on this side of the line so that I avoid the extra meat over there. What I'm basing this on is, this is a piece from the other bike rack. I'm going to put this underneath that round tube. I'm going to drill 4 holes into this, and then that is going to be on top, and then I'll take my piece here, it's finally cooled down, and whoop, where I was, and then weld it to this, and voila. So we'll check back in a little bit. All right guys, well, you may notice there's been some modifications, some changes going on here. So we're at this stage. I'm gonna add this brace to it. I've already done all of the mounting to the bottom. I'll show you guys that when we get done. A little breeze, but it's working. All right, that's that one. Now I've got a piece for up top here. Whoop. So that's that. Here we are. Let's check it out. We're in Zoom. Let's get out of here. So there's the bracketing. Okay. Up here, well, should add a good bit of stability, I think. Check it out, guys. Maiden voyage with the wave storm. We'll see how this goes. Oh my god, dude, I'm so stoked. I just took this thing out for a cruise, and I have to tell you, I whomped over some swales. I was not like gonna take a chance. I'm figuring with this wave storm on it, it's gonna give it all the weight. It's gonna give it every bit of challenge that it could. And the only thing that I'd say is that the board coming up off of the rack was a lot more anxious, or gave me more anxiousness than anything else. The rack made no noises. There was nothing except for the board coming off of the rack itself, which is a bungee issue. So I'm thinking I might find a way to do like a strap, you know, so that I could like cinch it. And then that way the board itself won't even have any travel at all. Anyways, great project. Super stoked. Catch you guys later. All right, well, you probably can't tell this, but I'm riding my bike right now. I got the board up top. I'm cruising along on the Strand, just surfed for about an hour and a half. And I freaking love this rack. The funniest thing about it is how many people stare at me as I'm riding around. They tell me how much they like my rack. Good times. Anyways, stoked. Boom. There it is, guys. Check it out. Surf rack. Here, let me move this out of the way. Safety first. All right, so here you go. Keep in mind, this was my prototype. My welds are very bad, so I'm not gonna let you focus on them. I'm using bungees to hold it down. I originally planned on using like a fixed strap, but I think the bungees actually work pretty good. One of the things that I want to point out that's really cool, you may notice, is that the board is canted down over here, which gives great downforce. So as I'm riding the bike, the wind is pushing down over the top. Super rad. I get a lot of questions and a lot of looks and a lot of that's rad. Oh yeah, here's a box I made too. People love the rack. What's cool about this one is I'm gonna be actually redoing this in aluminum. So I'm gonna have it all TIG welded and beautiful and light. This thing in totality is probably, I think, 25, 26 pounds. And the aluminum will be much less. So yeah, it's been rad. Works really well. I've had this board. This is a 6'2" board. I have a 7.6 that I put on here. I do 28 miles an hour on the way to the surf. Go over swales and bumps and everything, dude. I have to admit, the shock absorber on the bike probably makes a huge difference, because all of the energy getting transferred through is not going to a hard point. So everything gets kind of compressed down. I think it makes a real big difference. But anyways, super rad.